And oh wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 318 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week we are talking about how the PlayStation VR2 is not selling like hotcakes. The Vita lives. PlayStation Showcase rumors are going to be huge. Accessibility coming to PlayStation Store and so much more. But with all that said, with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, same here, man.
Doing okay. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Came down with a real bad sinus infection after we recorded last week.
Changing of the seasons, my friend.
That and also Little Man had it and gave it to me.
You know what? These kids, I'm sick of them getting sick, you know?
Plus, my leg is so bad.
You got a bum knee?
So much pain. Well, I think I said about I fell in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right on my knee.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it hurts still. It's bad.
Well, you know what I hate the most is when you hurt yourself and you didn't even do anything.
Oh, I know.
Those, at least it's I messed up, right? Like, I stepped in a pothole.
Yeah.
I woke up like this.
It's like when you sneeze and pull a back muscle. That's when you feel awful.
Exactly. Like 2 days ago, so I have really bad neck problems. Humble brag, I'm 32. And I woke up and I was like, oh, you know when you're like, something's gone awry. I pinched a nerve somehow. And that's really what's happened. So the pain's been mounting over days. It's like, it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse until I can't move my neck. And then here we are. Then one day I'll just be back to normal. But this is my quarterly, ow, my neck hurts, I'm in pain. And I'm sick and tired of it.
This is our versions of quarterly reports.
Exactly. But it's like quarterly, I'm old. My sinuses are no good no more.
Joe, have that on my desk by noon. Okay.
Okay. Get that Zyrtec on the counter ASAP. But I feel like it's all worth it. All our pain, all our agony, all of our misfortune. And I'm going to tell you why. Yesterday, we just got trailer after trailer after trailer of just fun things. Like, we've been eating good. I think sometimes we get a little bit, I don't know, I hate to use the word entitled, but entitled when it comes to like trailers or movies or show. Like we forget how good we have it. Because over the weekend we got Secret Wars, then we got
Invasion.
Secret Invasion. If we got Wars, I'd be freaking out. Then we got Blue Beetle. Then we got Across the Spider-Verse trailer.
Before we move on from Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Just because it's not about the trailer because
Sure.
I haven't seen it, but I love how I saw the screenshots of how they ended it being like, hey, here are the comics to go check out before you watch the movie. I love that.
Because they know he's a very obscure character. I know him
just,
from
learn
Young
about
Justice.
him before you go see it.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then we got, which was, I don't even know what to describe it, but the Barbie trailer. And I go to my brother because we're just watching them all, and I go, you want to watch a Barbie trailer? He's like, no. No.
Oh, come on.
I'm like, come on, let's just see. It looks strange. Let's just give it a go. And then we finish watching it, and I go, you know what, Dan, you were right.
Oh, you're not a fan?
You know what? I'm very proud of the executives for letting the creative team take as much acid as they wanted before writing the script and shooting this film.
Is that not the same director from Booksmart?
No idea, but let me tell you, it's wild. That said, though, I was talking to you about all these trailers we got to see, and you haven't seen any of this. You haven't seen any of them. Are you a trailer guy?
Oh, my God. I love trailers.
Okay.
It's just when you have a genre-defining video game that takes up all of your time.
Oh, okay. Fair.
MLB The Show is just in my veins.
Chef's kiss.
How
many more hours you put in?
72.
All right. See, Court Lalonde? Maybe this wasn't your most anticipated game after all. You'd be putting some real hours in here. Look at this guy, Kyle Stevenson over here. He's working up to be. You're working up to be the what is it? The first person to platinum.
First person to platinum that game.
And it happens on Friday, right?
Happens on Friday because I noticed on day one, we're getting away from the trailers. So we'll get back to the trailers.
Don't
in a
worry
second.
about it.
Trophy list says complete a tops now moment.
Yeah.
And what happens is every week, the best players of the week get their own special cards from their accomplishments on the field of that week of real in-game play.
Oh, wow. That's all right. That's cool.
Yeah. And so you have to complete a moment in order to earn that card. And that goes live this Friday as the first in-season drop. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I got to work. I got to get everything unlocked before that so I have a shot. I'm sure other trophy hunters are doing the same thing, so it's going to be a mad dash when it gets updated. But I have a very good shot of at least being in the single digits again. Again. I think in MLB 19 was the one with Griffey.
Yeah.
I think it was 7th in the world.
Wow.
So, I take this seriously.
This is... I love that.
I love MLB The Show. I mean, my God.
Well, let me tell you something. I know, this would be the what you've been playing section, but I have 2 symbolic trophies now. For Before Your Eyes. I saw you
playing Save Room.
Yep. In honor of Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Yeah.
Because Save Room is a Radalika game that is literally just the awesome. Storage in Resident Evil 4 you're organizing.
It's a good time, right?
It surprisingly is.
It's a good time. Yeah.
It's a good time. So I got the symbolic trophy for Before Your Eyes and oh my goodness, the Callisto Protocol, because both of those were glitched. I don't know why I'm running into that. More and more so.
I don't know.
I don't like it one bit. But yeah, no, we got all these trailers. I'm sorry, going back to the trailer thing. And so I've just been living a high. I what I'm now doing is I'm avoiding the conversations afterwards, like the people that want to be the critical thought pieces. And I'm just enjoying it for what it is. So other than Across the Spider-Verse, I'm not going into the weeds here. We're recording early because I'm going to watch the Mario movie tonight.
Yeah. I'm going tomorrow morning.
I see the reviews. I could not care less. Mm-hmm. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. I know what this movie is. You know what I mean? So to see people kind of do the Metacritic thing, I avoid now. I can't stand it anymore.
Hey, Joe, really quickly.
Yeah.
And I want you to leave this in the show.
Okay.
Because I did the Barbie thing with the Hunter.
Oh boy.
And I tweeted it out with the line, "This Barbie's all about the old blood."
All right, let's check this out.
Should that be changed?
What's that?
Should I not have done that?
No, I think it's perfect.
Okay, we'll read the one reply. Is that a thing that I should have seen coming?
I don't know.
Will that be a problem?
I guess we'll find out. Everybody who's listening in, tune
it was
in.
Innocent. I meant nothing by it.
Maybe if you could just put the Bloodborne character a little lower. I don't know how the generator works, so that it cuts off at their waist and not at their ankles. I think that'd probably be better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, sure.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only edit I would have made, but I think that's perfect.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? Everybody on Twitter, go to twitter.com. where it's currently the Doge logo because someone thought they were funny from 2012. And then find us at PS Trophy Room. Tell us how we did. I think we did a bang up job there, you know? Okay. That's it, Kyle. It's time we finally start talking about PlayStation. This week, I'm going to be real. It's a little bit of the slower side, but the things we're talking about, one in particular, I'm really excited about, and I really want to know your thoughts on. So before we do, just a little bit of housekeeping, make sure you head on over to the Trophy Room store. Kyle worked real hard on those t-shirts. Go buy one, maybe a mug or two. Who knows? Go over there, check it out.
Did you do
I
that?
don't know. No, I just assumed you did. Anyway,
No.
we will have mugs in the future.
I
Of
don't
course.
think Bonfire does mugs, but I'll check.
Well, you know what? We'll find it. We'll find a mug guy. All right. We can't look at this.
We'll find a mug guy. We'll find.
I got a Legend of Zelda mug. You know, I always have a theme. All right. It's time for a Patreon pitch. Of course, if you like what you heard here and you want to support the show, the reason why we look so good, we sound so great, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. So if you ever got you through a long car ride, tough day at work, whatever your situation is, even just throwing a buck our way keeps the debtors at bay. Especially this month, Adobe wants to charge us $600. Hooey, it's a whole ordeal. But I want to thank our newest member at the gold tier, J Dab. I want to thank our premium members, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, Brad Presnell, Brent Gillian, the Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, Jose Jimenez, the Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Millennial Falcon Gaming, Ryuko Kill 90, Sith Lord 92, Stephen Flesh, and Strubles and Bits. I want to thank our gold members, Awesome Dave, Cypher Primus, Bertos Maximus, Baldrin, Dolph Simon the Pie Man, Daniel Welsh, DJ Hercules 89, Elo 2032, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hyde Indoors, Nakachaka, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Kevin Ainsworth, K Grim, Lamb Chop 93, Marcus O'Neill, and Drososaur, Astronaut Jr., not to be mistaken with Astronaut Sr. Don't you dare ever get it twisted. Rick Arrington, Dewane Raksha, the Aztec King, Robbie Bobby Miller himself, Brenton Zachary, Brenty Blob, Bubble Boy N7, Captain Logan, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, M9 Prime, Stone Cold, E.T. said so, Tino 6-Speed, M. Cly, H85, and Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Matt Pugh, the Red Arrow, Spammin' Bammin', and Somnia. Thank you all so much for your generosity. And again, it really does keep the lights on. It helps this show go. So please, patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It really does help us out. And you get your voice read here on the show. You get cool bonus shows. Like this Friday, we're going to be recording our after show. It's all about the Super Mario movie. I can't wait. Mm-hmm. I can't wait. And guess what? I heard Mario and Luigi. It's true.
Whoa. Oh no, step bro. I'm stuck in a pipe.
That was perfect and we didn't even plan it. That was amazing. That said, Kyle, it is time to square up the news.
First bit of news that needs to be squared up is Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. Ryan writes, PlayStation VR2 reportedly off to an underwhelming start. Sony's PlayStation VR2 is reportedly off to an underwhelming start, with the virtual reality headset only expected to sell 270,000 units by the end of March. As reported by Bloomberg, the figure comes from research firm IDC, and while 270,000 is still a lot of headsets, reports last year indicated that Sony was looking to produce 2 million PSVR2 units to be sold by the end of March. Vice President of Data and Analytics at IDC, Francisco Geronimo, told Bloomberg that Sony would need to cut the price of the PSVR2 to stop its launch from being a quote-unquote complete disaster. The headset, which already sits at $549.99, is made even pricier by the additional $499.99 costs of the required PlayStation 5. Quote, consumers around the world are facing rising costs of living, rising interest rates, and rising layoffs. VR headsets are not top of mind for most consumers under the current economic climate, said Geronimo. I suspect a price cut on the PSVR 2 will be needed to avoid a complete disaster of their new product, end quote.
I always get jealous of some people's names, like Francisco Geronimo.
When you went back and highlighted that, I was like, oh no.
Oh yes, that guy. That guy's cool as shit. I want to hang out with him. So okay, it seems like Kyle, that Sony, a month ago, refuted claims from Jason Schreier that PlayStation's cutting the production of PSVR 2. They seemingly don't have much faith in it. And, they're cutting the production. They're not going to hit that 2 million. That's what he's heard. And PlayStation's like, no, we got faith. Oh, we got faith. No. It looks like what Jason Schreier was saying, after all, was true. I want to know what your initial thoughts on these sales numbers are for PlayStation VR 2. What Yeah, what's your gut feeling as you read it all?
Um, it's okay.
Really?
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when we came on this show when the price of VR2 was announced,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone else was like, "Oh boy, that's a lot of money." But when you compare it to other VR headsets,
Yeah.
on this level, it kind of is par for the course.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the price is the thing. I just think it's hard to sell people on VR if you've never done VR before.
I think it's hard to sell people on VR. I think it's even harder when inflation is this bad worldwide.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think it's hard to sell VR when you can't physically show it. And I think it's hard to sell VR when you don't, I feel, properly promote it. So like see this.
The promotion thing for sure is they're dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. So like for me, I'm a little peeved because
and just really quickly.
Yeah, please.
Just because for example, the Valve Index, I want to see how much that sold when it came out in 2019. For the year, it sold 149,000 units in 2019, and 103 were all sold in quarter 4. So that one only had roughly 46,000 units since it was released in June.
Okay.
And then 100 around holiday time, quote unquote. And that's the Valve Index, which I think is one of the best ones.
Yeah, it's one of the more premium headsets out there.
Yeah, so
it has the Half-Life Alex.
Yeah, exactly. I think it sold more after Alex because this was written before Alex. But
oh, sure.
I mean, PSVR2 is doing pretty well by those standards.
Okay.
But
I feel like for me, I'm just a little peeved or ticked off because, we're big believers in the hardware. I know so many of our fans are even bigger believers than us, and want to support this thing. Like VR is an awesome platform. It could do so much and immerse us in ways that we didn't think we could be immersed. And just see it being announced via a blog post, by seeing blog posts, announce games, to see just, tweets of what games are coming, and then expecting us all to be excited for it. I just don't feel like that's realistic. And then on top of that, here, at least in the States, you can't, the only way to get one is from Sony or PlayStation Direct. So it's not like you could walk into a Best Buy, a GameStop, or an Amazon to even get this thing. So how are people supposed to know this thing really exists other than just word of mouth or from podcasts like these? So like, to me, I see that number is not great. I don't see it as good. I do see a price drop possibly coming into the future of this, but it also depends on what PlayStation thinks of VR at this moment. We're seeing a lot of, we're seeing a lot of movement in the tech field as of late, especially out of places like Meta and its VR house, and them slashing production, slashing jobs over there. And so I just see a lot of movement in VR that's not typically or looks typically great at the moment. But I do feel like VR is important. It's needed. I just don't know right now if Sony even has that much faith in it. If all we got is one first-party game, the likes of Horizon Call of the Mountain, it's like, okay, and we got Beat Saber down the line. That's great, but what else from PlayStation first-party proper are we pushing out here to get people excited? We still yet to see the Half-Life Alyx, or literally Half-Life Alyx here. So to me, I don't view that number as particularly great. I don't also see it as a doomsday for the device as well. But I am concerned about its existence, because Jedi Master Ren writes, question for this week's show: seeing the support Sony gave PSP, PS Vita, PSVR, and PSVR2, what are the odds Sony would really pull their energy and effort behind a third handheld, especially after just launching their second VR? Well, I think that's akin to...
Yeah, I put this in as a bridge towards the second one.
So
They
go for it.
We'll get into it in a second, but Sony has a real problem marketing hardware that's not a console.
Yes.
They have a real problem, and I don't know where that disconnect is,
Mm-hmm.
but it hasn't been good since PSP.
Right.
PSP, I think marketed pretty well.
Yep.
But Vita, VR1, VR2,
PlayStation Eye. Let's give it respect.
Yeah, PlayStation Wonder Book.
Yes, what was it? The Imaginables or whatever. The little
Invisibles.
Invisibles. There you go. Yeah. God bless.
Even the likes of the DualSense Edge, right? Where that was also only on PS Direct, even though I think that is now coming out.
It's now coming out on Amazon, and
so maybe VR2 will follow those footsteps. But they need to find that disconnect in why they go so hard on consoles, which I understand that is the main thing. But give some love to these other PlayStation branded things, or else by not giving that love, you're showing that it's not as important to you, at least in my eyes.
Right. I think it's really hard to just maintain a platform, let alone two. Like, we will talk about it when we talk about the rumored handheld that PlayStation may or may not be making. But like, it's really hard to have one successful piece of hardware and then find the balance between that and another platform that you're trying to grow with another platform that you're also trying to grow. So it's just like, how do you unify the marketplace? How do you find or work with limitations with not just one piece of hardware, but like two or three? Like, it's a really hard balance. So of course you're going to probably end up focusing more on the thing that's more successful, which is your core console, but at what cost? And I think we saw that with Vita. It's like, well, is this really paying off for us? Is this chase to mobile actually tenable when Nintendo still has such a hard grasp on that market? Like, even VR, it's like, okay, there could be growth here, but it seems like everyone's struggling to get this thing off the ground. So is it worth pushing this thing uphill? I would like to say it is, because I think there are utilities for VR even outside of gaming. Like, I'm thinking of production on like TV, movies, virtual sets, all that. But like, for me, it's hard as putting on the working blazer and, putting the name tag Jim Ryan on to say, yeah, this makes sense to keep doing. I just hope that there's a payoff. I think the other thing that does not help PlayStation VR 2, other than its price tag, is the fact that this thing is not backwards compatible. There's so many games that we have to rebuy. Like, think about that launch lineup. As much as it's full of great games, it's great games we already played a year or two ago and we're supposed to get re-excited for. Like, that's a really hard sell. Now, again, of course, like, there's a lot of people that haven't experienced a lot of these VR games. It will be their first experience. But for the hardcore people that are going out and buying this, they probably already bought those things. So it's hard to justify it. Again, I don't think it's doom and gloom yet. We got to see what this, the next few months or year really bring to it. But as of right now, like, even some of the bigger titles, like the Creed VR game, which I hear is fantastic, I heard about it in a tweet a day late. Mm-hmm. So I feel like PlayStation's really got to do a better job helping those smaller indies, especially on VR, get noticed. And it can't just be a tweet,
Absolutely.
All right, Kyle. It's time for the next bit of news everybody tells me not to be excited about, and I hope you're not one of them. Take it away.
Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming writes, Sony's next PlayStation handheld? Following days of speculation, Insider Gaming can report that there's a new PlayStation handheld in development. Codenamed the Q Lite, the next PlayStation handheld is the next piece of Sony hardware that aims to be yet another piece of hardware that requires the PlayStation 5. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature the console giant has been pushing these past couple of weeks. Sporting adaptive streaming up to 1080p and 60 frames per second, the new device will require constant connectivity to the internet. As for the console's physical features, early prototypes showed the console will look a lot like a PlayStation 5 controller, but with a massive 8-inch LCD touchscreen in the center. The device sports adaptive triggers for haptic feedback and will include what you would come to expect from a handheld: volume buttons, speakers, an audio input jack, etc. Insider Gaming understands that the Q-Lite is in its QA phase and is scheduled to release before the PlayStation 5 Pro and after the detachable disk drive PS5. As previously mentioned by industry insider Jeff Grubb, Sony is planning to announce its quote-unquote second phase of the PS5, which was in reference to its future game slate. Ironically, though, this second phase is very much true for Sony's hardware offerings, with the new detachable disk drive PlayStation 5, Project Nomad wireless earphones, Project Voyager wireless headset, and Q-Lite handheld, all scheduled to release within a very short period. It's understood that the PlayStation 5 Pro is aiming for a holiday 2024 release.
Kyle, your thoughts, your opinion on this handheld, kind of, sort of, not really asterisk device. The Vita lives, sorta.
If the price is right,
yeah,
it doesn't matter because I'm all in.
God bless.
I mean, like, listen,
yeah,
I get it.
Okay.
It's not, I won't be able to take this on trips and really, I think, play well. Because who knows how the internet connection would be to your console at home. Like, I've heard stories of it not being great. It's not the second coming of Vita that I would want. But as somebody who constantly fights that battle of, okay, being a big sports fan, I'm going to take 2.5 hours to watch the Mets game on my TV. And that's 2.5 hours that I can't be playing a game. Here, I can be playing the game while watching the baseball.
Secondhand,
you know what I mean? Like
a Wii U, perhaps.
A Wii U. Oh, or like a Vita, which also did that. It's just, I think it's very, very good. Also, like, for those that have little ones around that you want to watch the Coco Melons on the TV, fine, put that on, and then you can. It's the bane of my existence, Joe.
Yeah.
I think it's really aimed at a lot of that audience that has little ones that take over the TV, or nobody wants to sit there and watch you playing games all day. If you have a shared space, but you want to keep playing, put it on. You want to
actually Netflix and chill, but like,
yes,
yeah.
I think this is great. Yeah, you could do it on your phone. Sure.
But I get notifications on the phone. Like, okay, so here's...
There are other apps. There's like TikTok. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. To me, so again, I'm not the biggest handheld guy because a lot of handheld experiences don't... Not to say mix well with me, but I don't find them deep enough on a level that I engage with on console gaming. You know, the environment around me may be loud, whatever. It's always like a question mark if I can actually get immersed in here because other things are going on. But I have a warm or soft spot for handhelds. Like, I have a Steam Deck. It's right next to me. Yeah. And I love it. And I use it to do what this thing is right here, which is, I don't think I could legally say what I'm about to say. So I'll use a different person. I know someone who has a Steam
That's
Deck.
How the law works.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Indict me, you fools. So, like, to me, I feel like, I feel like I know a guy, again, person, place, or thing, don't know. I don't even know where they are. You couldn't even find them.
Let's call him Mo Duran.
Yeah, Mo Duran. They have an app on their Steam Deck, or may not, and they have a bootlegged version of Remote Play that they may or may not be using to play Spider-Man when they're on the toilet. May or may not be happening.
Don't you already have... I'm sorry. Doesn't Mo already have?
Yeah, please.
Spider-Man on Steam for the Steam Deck?
I mean, Mo may or may not have it. We'll have to ask them. We'll have to ask them one day. Who knows?
Okay.
They're a very private person. So, like, to me,
I think they have the TIE Fighter on the other side of the chair, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The room is just flipped.
The room's flipped. They live in the upside down.
Yeah.
So, like, for them, even with living in the upside down, the Bluetooth works, wireless works, everything works fine. Mm-hmm. So for them, it works. Like, this idea of having what is essentially, as I'm reading this, a DualSense, but has a screen in the middle of it that you could play secondhand or second screen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't need to go out and get a backbone or another attachment or anything like that.
Exactly. And for me, the problem that I have with, not to say the backbone, because I like it a lot, but the problem that I have with most of the peripherals or just playing on the phone itself is once I get a notification, it takes me out. Right? I get a tweet or I get like a text message or a call. I then have to restart the app. So for me, it's like, yeah, can't you do this on the phone? You definitely could. But to me, it's like the jack of all trades, master of none. So like here, it's like, yeah, I could actually kind of use this instead of Mo can use this instead of their Steam Deck to do this. That's great. It has the functionalities that I love from the DualSense. You're talking adaptive triggers. You're talking haptic feedback. That all sounds really great. Mm-hmm. That sounds like something I want to partake in.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we kind of miss is, yes, the Q-Lite, not a streaming device as of what we know right now, but instead uses remote play. We also know that there is in the works PS5 game streaming that Sony's working on. It was supposed to be out in March. So by the time this thing comes out, who knows what this thing's going to actually do and actually look like. But I'm right there with you. It just depends on the price.
Yeah.
Is really what's going to be the make or break. If
what is the sweet spot?
Anywhere between, I would say, 150 to 250.
That's exactly where I was thinking. If I see a 3 at the front of this thing, I am
done.
out.
It's out. It's done. It's done.
Done.
Because here's the thing. If it is a streaming device, let's just say, again, a year from now it changes, it's a streaming device. This, again, very much makes sense that I'm hooking it up not to my PlayStation 5, but my PlayStation Plus Premium account. Mm-hmm. That's great. Or maybe it just needs to ping my PlayStation 5 to make sure I have the account and I could be just playing from the server blades. That's awesome. That's kind of what I want this thing to be.
Can I also throw in a thing that is not confirmed at all, but a much needed, very cool thing that I would like for this?
Sure.
Imagine if it does the thing where, oh my God, I think Microsoft touted it for a bit during the Xbox One era, where some games you could put like the map on an iPad of the game.
Yes, yes.
So like imagine
Battlefield had that app on the iPad.
Yeah. So like, just you're playing an open world game, and instead of having it just be a remote play thing, you look down and the map is right there.
Oof.
And like your objectives and everything, and the HUD, it's from the screen. It's now on your.
Are you telling me what you want is the Wii U?
Oh my God. Oh no. What have I become?
Are you telling me that the Wii U died so that this PlayStation controller would live? Guys, we broke his brain.
Am I Sile Catefficin?
I don't know.
Am I the upside down version of what's happening?
It might just be. But listen,
did I have a stroke? What's going on? I hate the Wii U. What's happening?
I don't know. But here's the thing, like our good friend Miles just said it too. It's like maybe the Wii U died so that this thing could fly, man. Like,
sure.
What you're saying, it doesn't sound unrealistic. I think the Wii U, died for other reasons other than the controller, which I did like, by the way.
The controller was fine. Yeah.
I'll fight you on it. I did good in Call of Duty. What was it, Black Ops 2?
The software support is where it was bad.
Exactly. Oh boy. Nonetheless, I'm in on this thing. I like what I'm hearing so far. The price has to be right. If it's anywhere above $250, we're out of here. I got places to be. Mm-hmm. That said, the Muffin Mon writes in the last 2 weeks, Insider Gaming has stated that PlayStation plans to launch a PS5 without a disc drive, a PS5 Slim model, a PS Pro, and now a remote play handheld, all by holiday 2024. I'm sorry. There is no way PlayStation could possibly do that there. It seems to me that it would be pretty tone deaf of the current state of the economy and what consumers want to actually push this much hardware, most of which seems not needed in such a short time. Curious to hear your thoughts. Well, okay. The PlayStation 5 Slim, I believe, is the PS5 without a disc drive, right?
So yeah, and maybe he also meant the first one, just the detachable disc drive.
Oh, fair enough.
Possibly.
Yeah. Kyle, are all these peripherals tone deaf, man? Is PlayStation just putting out hardware just left and right and just seeing which one sticks? In this economy, Kyle, are they truly thinking about me? I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot of offerings to have, and I know a good friend of the show, Sean Capri, used to hate when we made this comparison. But like, can you imagine working at GameStop and have 4 different PS5 SKUs to have to talk to customers about which one is right for you?
Oh.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
It does seem like a whole lot. It is a lot, but it's also weird to think that by the time these come out, we're 4 years into the PlayStation 5.
Right.
That's wild. 4 years?
Yeah. Okay, for all the hardware stuff, like the PS5 without a disc drive, like the redesigned PS5, what we'll be getting later this year, like that's the norm of things, and this model will be then phased out, and it's really to help them go back to one SKU, right? Then the PlayStation 5 Pro model, listen, I'm gonna just say it right here, why even bother? Like, to me, I feel like that is actually the most egregious thing we don't need. I mean, we talked about it a few weeks ago. We're finally getting to see what these games are finally capable of. Right. Yeah. And to say by next year, oh, don't worry about it. Like, there'll be a ultra performance mode where you get, the 60 frames and the 4K. Like, I don't know.
Also, people are finally able to get their hands on it.
Right.
In the wild.
So I'm like, that I feel like is actually the most unneeded thing. But like, to hear them go, hey, we're making peripherals like wireless earbuds and a new headset. Okay, cool. I don't see it as like, in this economy, you're going to do all this to me. It's like, in this economy, you're going to give me more options? How dare you? Like, Sony ain't putting a gun to my head and they're saying, go buy the thing. What they're looking at right now, when you look at the peripheral side, they see that there's a market for elite controllers. So they made you an elite controller, right? They're seeing that there is a market for headsets. So they're making you, I think, an updated version of the previous headset. They've done that in the PS3 generation, right? With the Pulse headset. So that's nothing new. Earbuds, honestly, those are a day one buy for me. I love earbuds more than over-the-ear things. So it's like, no, they're just giving me options. I don't feel like this is a bad thing. I think they're trying to make a line of peripherals that surround this one product that is the PlayStation 5, right? So I think all these things are nice additions to. You don't necessarily need to buy them. So no, I don't think it's tone deaf. I mean, like, it's like every other week Xbox has come out with a different color controller. This one's recycled this time, and people go out there and they buy it. Yeah. So it's like,
I mean, whatever. We also are problems here. Well, I have every color of DualSense except for the camo one because I think camo's awful.
Yeah, my brother has a camo one. He thinks it looks cool, and I go, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Sorry, y'all who actually like the camo one, but it's just not my jam.
I don't like it. You're not in the woods with this thing, but you're right. So I don't know. I don't find it right now as like egregious that they're pushing out hardware in front of you. What I'm more concerned about is the games after 2023. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. Lurian writes in, guys, this is actually genius. Think about it. They're going to launch live service games. You'll be grinding levels at work or on the bus. It'll have a massive battery since nothing is native. PC requirements, no worried. It's aimed at Asia, Japan, that has better or the best Wi-Fi infrastructure. And that's also the thing about this piece of hardware is like, yeah, unfortunately, it's not for little Timmy that lives in the sticks. It is for people that have good Wi-Fi infrastructure. So we're thinking about like the tri-state area, right? We're thinking about like the cities like Chicago or like San Fran.
L.A.
Yeah,
San Fran.
that type. Like you're busing or commuting to work. Like that's what this thing is. So for me, it works because we got great Wi-Fi here. And as 5G gets better and better, this becomes less and less of an issue. So I'm open to it. I'm not like I don't understand why everybody is so skeptical on it, like overly skeptical on it, because I don't see this as a bad thing. I mean, if you just don't want it, you just don't buy it. But this isn't like,
this isn't like a last ditch effort to get people to hop on PlayStation's train.
Exactly.
It's just like another additive thing. It's not them like, oh, we're losing. Like no one's playing PlayStation anymore. What can we get people to come back in on?
Yeah.
What's the thing? Like it's not that. It's just another. It's another way to consume their games and play in their ecosystem.
Exactly.
And like every company does that at some point. So it's remember when HoloLens was the thing?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Is it still a thing? I don't even know.
Unfortunately.
Every company does it though.
Yeah. So like for me, I just feel like PlayStation has seen the success of the Steam Deck. They've seen the success of the Nintendo Switch, and they're like, why can't we get a fraction of this pie? We don't need to be the biggest thing. It's okay to be the niche if we can make money here, get some profits, while also serving an audience that is provingly like growing and growing. And to go on the last thing here, Kyle, I mean, to go all the way back to Jedi Master Ren, right? Seeing the support of Sony gave to the PSP Vita, PSVR2, and PSVR, should Sony really just put their energy behind a third handheld, especially after launching their second VR headset? Do you want them to go back to a handheld? What do you want it to be?
I essentially want it to be what this thing sounds like.
Yeah.
But with like actual native games, like actual cartridge-based games, or
you want like just you?
I want to actually have it its own lineup of stuff, like just because I'm old school like that. Sure. I enjoy that, but I also don't want them to then be like, oh, here's another proprietary memory card,
right?
And all that's going to cost way too much money, and that's really one of the death nails of what the Vita happened with the Vita.
Honestly, all I want from this thing is for it to have cloud service support. So meaning like this thing is your PlayStation Plus companion. Like you got premium. This is the thing you play all your games. You stream all your games off of. And I think
here are all the classics.
Yeah, here are all the classics. Mm-hmm. Like here's some of your catalog from your PS5. Like that's what I want from this thing. Because I don't want them to go out there, make another SKU, put development time into another piece of hardware, another piece of tech, for it maybe not to take off. Like the thing that we forget about the Nintendo Switch, the reason why it's so successful, and so successful for Nintendo as well, is once they saw it start to blow up, they started to sunset the 3DS, and then all of a sudden Nintendo realized, oh, instead of focusing on two platforms, we could just focus on one. Right? Instead of focusing on the limitations of two, we could put all that focus on one. Instead of having two marketplaces, we could have one. And just having the synergy behind all their development studios as they're pushing out games. It's one of the reasons why the the Nintendo Switch is so successful, and why they're going to probably stay in that hybrid lane. So I don't want anything that gets taken away from the PlayStation 5 development. So, like, I don't want this to have the power of a PlayStation 4, because then we're having the same conversation we had a week ago of like, well, was Horizon Forbidden West held back by, what is this? The Q Lite, I don't want those conversations. So I want this thing to be a streaming device. I want it to stream my PS5 games. I don't need this thing to be the Switch killer. I actually don't want it to be the Steam killer. I just want it to exist and have its market. That's it.
Yes.
That's all.
Agreed.
It doesn't have to be number one to have fun, y'all.
No.
All right, Kyle. Now let's talk about some more rumors, some more speculation. You ready for this, Kyle?
Oh, I'm so hungry, and this is about to fill me up. Ooh-wee. Sammy Barker over at Push Square writes, Sony's big PS5 showcase to take place in approximately 2 months. We're long overdue some kind of presentation from the platform holder. And it looks like it may not be far away. Giant Bob's Jeff Grubb, who's notorious for largely reliable insider information, claims that there'll be a proper PlayStation showcase prior to Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, which is currently pegged for June 8th. Obviously, that leaves a pretty large window for when the event could take place, but it's good to have a rough idea. Quote, E3 is dead, and I killed it. And now I'm going to honor it by holding it up a weekend at Bernie E3 style alongside Jeff Grubb's hashtag Summer Game Fest or Summer Game Mess. Thank you to all of the Jeff Grubb's Summer Game Mess partners for participating, whether you want to or not. And then he writes, let's effing go.
That's right.
And then there's this screenshot from Jeff Grubb with a lineup of dates where it says before Summer Game Fest, PlayStation Showcase, June 8th, Summer Game Fest, June 9th and 10th, key 3 days of play, June 11th, Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, Starfield Direct, and June 12th, Ubisoft Forward. Grubb has previously mentioned that the Japanese giant has been, quote-unquote, saving the good stuff for this show. And given how uncharacteristically quiet the company's been, man, I butchered that word, expectations will be sky high. There's chatter about the setting up Phase 2 for the PS5's release schedule, so it should be much bigger than your average state of play.
So, as of recording, we talked about it last week, E3, and I love how we future-proofed it as well, because we're like, by the time this comes out, E3's dead. Like, there was so much talk about it, we knew the end was coming. But now it is. It's officially done. It's officially dead, and Jeff Keighley keeps poking the corpse. So,
oh my God, minutes after,
let's talk about it. E3 is officially dead. How have you felt about the Summer Games Fest response to it and Jeff Keighley's response to it? Is it
not my favorite.
Is it churlish even?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's definitely not my favorite. I respect the hustle. I respect the feeling of not disdain, but the feeling of being scorned a little bit or let down from what the ESA was doing for so many years to Jeff. And I understand the need to want to be a little bit petty, but also it's not a good look.
Yeah.
How like almost immediately afterwards, it's like, hey, Summer of Gaming is not dead. We're still around type of thing. And it's like
people are like kind of mourning the loss of it too.
It's like he's had these prepared and already scheduled to go live.
He had them in the drafts.
1,000%. He was just waiting for him. It's a bad look. I won't ever say that I'm like losing respect for Jeff.
Sure.
Because I do respect his hustle and everything, but it makes me a little sad that somebody can be so. Vindictive isn't the right word. Just
I think
petty. Just petty. The pettiness is already rampant on social media.
Yeah.
This is of the highest level.
I think the problem is we don't know the context, right? You're totally right. I don't want to repeat what you just said because it was perfect. We don't know the context of how he was scorned by these folks. You could tell he was.
Yeah.
Also, he's hustling, right? Like, hey, E3's dead. I'm going to capitalize on this thing that's trending. And I'm going to tell you, the Summer Game Fest is right here. But, Jeff, this year, Summer Game Fest has to deliver. It can't just be a calendar that you invite folks on. You got to show us some stuff. You got to show us why you are now E3.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you got to show us why you matter. Because the last few years, you've been getting there. You've been inching closer and closer, but you're still far from the finish line, brother. So, I would just say, I don't appreciate the pettiness. But I also don't know the context, and I also know he's just doing his job capitalizing on a thing. Because now he's part of the conversation.
He is now the quote-unquote only game in town.
Yeah.
So
that said, Strubels and Bits writes, and hey guys, hope you're both doing well. In regards to the showcase, what's one game that you guys are certain will be there? What's a game you will hope that will be there? And what's a game you know absolutely won't be there? But you won't lose your mind if it was.
But you would
lose your mind. Sorry. Keep up the great work. Okay.
Got it. I'm ready.
Go for it. You first.
Factions.
Okay. will be there.
Whatever the Last of Us multiplayer game is called,
Gotcha.
It will be there.
Gotcha.
I hope that there is a Astrobot sequel.
Oh God,
for
yes.
VR2. A game that won't be there, but will lose my mind. Insomniac or Wizards Resistance 4. that is easy money for me to lose my ever loving shit. On stream.
I think this is where we see Spider-Man, right? I know a few rumors is like this is where we see the Spider-Man gameplay. This showcase is significantly.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, right? This showcase is significantly longer, apparently.
Good.
So like an hour 30 minutes, perhaps. But again, everything could change.
You laughed at me when I said a long one before. Right?
Listen, you might win this bet. You might just win it. So to me, what's gonna be there? I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna say, of course, Spider-Man's gonna be there. We're gonna see gameplay, but more so, we're gonna see how you're switching from character to character.
Ooh.
I think that's going to be the big gameplay hook is...
Give me GTA style, baby.
Exactly. GTA style, you're hopping from character to character. Like, you're hopping to Spider-Man and he's like, swinging around. You see Miles, he's eating like a chimichanga or something.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking about that gosh dang trailer. And then you swing on over to Venom and he's like eating a human.
Oh, so you think we're playing as Venom?
I think we're playing it. Venom's part of the crew. Venom's part of the crew. That's my thinking.
Okay.
I think we're gonna get the black suit for a chapter or two, and then he's gonna take it off. And I think Venom's significant. He's gonna play a significant role. I think we're gonna get like a Spider-Man game that's eventually like the Rogues Gallery, but also like Spider-Gwen's here, like stuff like that.
Oh,
that's what I think.
Cool.
Yeah. What's a game that I hope will be there?
Oh boy!
Come on, man. Give me Bloodborne. Come on. What the are we doing here? Give me that Bloodborne remake. You can remake The Last of Us. It's been 9 years. Give it to me. All right? It's been 84 years. Just give it to me. We need the Bloodborne remake.
It's been 84 years.
I think about it on a weekly basis, Kyle. If and when it gets announced, what's my reaction? Will people be tweeting at me, making sure I'm okay? Yes, please do that.
How many drafts like Jeff did about the E3 dying do you have saved for Bloodborne coming back?
I mean, do we really want to find out here? I have the tweet on lock every time there's a state of play. I have it in the drafts of the summoning circle for Bloodborne. Oh. So quite a goddamn lot. What's a game that I would that I absolutely know won't be there, but I would lose my mind if it was? I would absolutely lose my mind if it was. I'm going to say the non-safe bet. The Naughty Dog game we don't know about.
Ooh.
The one that is maybe an RPG of some kind. Something
the fantasy setting
one? The fantasy setting one. That would be cool because I absolutely know it won't be there, but would it be rad if we saw it?
It'd be pretty rad.
And also something we do know about is I would love an Order sequel.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I would love.
The Metal Gear Solid remake, if that's the thing.
Yeah. Now, this story is all to let y'all know that whenever that drops, whenever the state of play is announced, we will have our rumors, our speculation, our guesses as to what we'll see there, our predictions. And then when the state of play does drop, immediately afterwards, we're going to record our thoughts, our impressions of the showcase. So be aware that when it's announced, you're going to get not just one, but 2 bonus shows in your podcast feed.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle.
Before we move on, though, Jeff.
Yeah, please.
Is it just me? And tell me if I'm stupid for thinking this way. Phase 2 is a little pretentious, right? Is Phase 2 of the PS5 release schedule? It's a little pretentious. It's not the MCU here.
I mean, well, why not?
Just give us more games. I don't know if feeling like releasing games in phases isn't exactly... Doesn't have me excited.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just tell me games. I don't know.
Maybe
It's
Jim
a small
Ryan's,
little nitpick.
Yeah. No, I actually don't mind the phases things. Like, here's the next phase. Because, like, here's the next slate of games to get excited for. Like, the big ones to get excited for. That's actually, I think that's fine.
All right.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind it one bit.
Another one real quickly. PS All-Stars Battle Royale 2. Won't be there, but I'll lose my mind.
If it is, Kyle. Damn.
It makes too much sense. They own Evo now. Let's go.
I know.
What are
It does.
doing?
It makes way too much sense. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. Introducing a new segment called Everyone Like That. To go against last week's Everyone Did Like That.
Serena Khan over at PlayStation Lifestyle writes, PS Store gets accessibility tags on PS5 later this week. Sony has announced they will be adding accessibility tags to the PS Store and PS5 later this week. The tags will allow developers to describe the accessibility features in their games within the PlayStation Store game hubs. Once players have gotten into the PS5 PlayStation Store game hubs, players can press the triangle button to view any accessibility tags that are attached to that game. While the tags are only viewable on the PS5 store, they can be applied to PS5 and PS4 games, and players can compare the different options between the two platforms. There will be over 50 different accessibility tags displayed in the PS Store, and Sony gave a quick sampling of some players can expect to see. Visual accessibility features such as clear text, large text, audio cues, and directional audio indicators. Audio features such as volume controls, mono audio, screen reader, and visual cue alternatives. Subtitle and caption options, including subtitle size, clear captions, and large captions. Control options, including button remapping, thumbstick sensitivity, and ability to play without button holds. Gameplay options such as difficulty settings and skippable puzzles, and online communication options such as text or voice chat transcription and ping communication. The tags will be added to the PS Store later this week, although only a few PlayStation Studio games will support them at launch. Those games are Days Gone, Death Stranding's Director's Cut, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Returnal. More games will be adding accessibility tags throughout the coming weeks and months. The feature is another accessibility improvement to go alongside features like screen reader improvement added with the last PS5 beta, as well as the upcoming Project Leonardo controller.
This is awesome.
Like you said, everyone liked that. It's pretty cool.
I was going to put this in Flash News, but I think this is big enough, and I think it warrants it, and I think it deserves it. This is really awesome for not just like, for folks who want to find games that, help their needs, right? But more so, like, I also love the tagging feature. Like, I hope this expands to the store itself to make it easier to find things. Because I feel like that's its biggest... the search on PlayStation, especially when it comes to like just genres or whatever, I don't feel like is the best. So just adding like a Twitter or Instagram type of like social media, here's a hashtag, I just want shooters type of thing, and it cover me, that's really awesome. And also just letting people know, again, all the things are here for you for this game, or this game's missing that, is just, it's awesome.
It really is. I'm happy we're at a place where this is becoming the norm, or trying to become the norm. And there's not one bad thing to say about any of these things, other than maybe there could be more, but we don't know how robust it is yet.
Yeah, and it will become more and more robust. I saw a dev tweet out why accessibility has been such a highlight over the past few years, and it is very much because more and more people, as we get older, our visual, our eyesight wanes, our hearing wanes, things happen to us. As we age, we do need features like this, so it becomes more and more of a necessity for developers to add into the games themselves. So it's
not to mention people who are born with disabilities who need accessibility options to begin with.
So it's awesome to see accessibility expand to the PlayStation 5 storefront. So congratulations, y'all. We're doing the damn thing. All right. It's time, Kyle, for some Flash News. Gotta run fast.
Sorry, I got texted if I'm going to have pizza for dinner.
Oh,
obviously, the answer is yes.
What is it? It's going to be pepperoni. Is it the short now?
Probably.
Oh, God. Why did you stop running? I'm still running.
I'm sorry. I can't run
Super
and
Mario.
text about pizza at the same time.
Fair enough.
I'll make up for it. I'm coming.
Oh, my God. He's so fast. Oh, my God.
Man, I
He's
was
like a
really
blur.
moving.
He really
I was
were.
really going.
Catch your breath, God. Catch your breath. God of War Ragnarok New Game Plus update is now available. Go play the New Game Plus. If you haven't. New armor.
Level cap
looks.
increase.
Yep. Don't look at the PlayStation page because there's a spoiler on the thumbnail.
Yes, there is.
So I was going to retweet it. I was going to be like, hey, y'all, look at this. I was like, oh, wait, no, I shouldn't. Because that is a story spoiler. Yikes. That said, it's been a while. It's 11 plus million units sold. So, Kyle, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer teases PlayStation 5 players. You see a character from a PlayStation game of Spider-Man. Ooh-wee, he's pointing at stuff. Oh, man, if I hear Yuri's voice, I'm going to flip. I'm going to freak. Very excited.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, remember when I said Before Your Eyes didn't get me emotional?
That will make you emotional.
No, like, I got emotional. This is the thing that broke me.
Got it.
I was just unfazed by life itself until I saw this trailer, and I was like, life is good. This is beautiful, and I have hope again.
Sweet.
The Last of Us Part 1 Steam Deck verification not being prioritized. I think Neil Druckmann and team just put out like, listen, we're patching this thing. We hear you. Yeah. We're going to focus on that first.
That's good news, right?
Yeah. And also coming out of it, seeing more and more glitches out of this thing. Yeah, I think this is worse than
Did you see the one of Ellie just flipping in the background?
Yep.
At the first meeting of Joel and Marlene.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Honestly, I now believe that this may be a worse port than Cyberpunk. At this point in time, just seeing all the glitches, I'm like,
sure.
Oof. Now, if this launched day one, yeah, this was failure spectacularly, but like, alongside the PS5 version, yeah, no. That said, though, this is in Flash News. Congrats to CD Projekt Red, because Cyberpunk sales helped boost the company up to its second most profitable year ever. You love to see a comeback story. Yeah. Make sure you play Cyberpunk 2077. As I think about it more and more, I just am fonder and fonder of that game. It is incredible. Johnny Silverhand, he's my boy. Last but not least,
just really quickly, because you brought up CD Projekt Red. Sure. Shout out to them with their healthcare thing.
Yes.
Where, they're giving out menstrual leave.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
really, really cool. So shout out to CD Projekt Red for that. Yeah. That's I don't know the pains that go along with that. I can only imagine. I'm proud that that is the norm.
I work alongside a lot of awesome ladies.
Yeah.
I work alongside my best friend, and let me just tell you guys something. Ready for this? Ready for this joke? It's going to help me from being yelled at a lot. And I appreciate you, and I see you, CD Projekt Red. Because I got yelled at. I get yelled at a lot. And you can't ask. Oh, you could never ask.
Typical man. I say, hey, great job giving...
and I make it about myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I think this is great. My best friend's going to stop yelling at me much when she's at work. She's just like...
Yeah,
that's a mistake for you to ever be here. Like,
that's the reason they did it, not for these people to get time away so they can rest up and whatnot. No, they did it so they don't have to yell at everyone else.
No. It's for my hopefully another company takes it advice, implements it the same that my best friend and I work at, and then she stops yelling at me as much.
Sure.
She yells at me a whole lot, and is it mostly deserving? Yeah. But like at that level, yeah, I don't know about that, bud. All right, Kyle. Enough about making women's struggles my own. It's time for our last bit of news. Yes, I'm gonna keep it in the show, Kyle. Don't you even think I'm not?
No, I don't want you to take it out. No, I love it.
It's just me. I'm just being me. Marvel's Avengers is getting the last patch ever today. A patch 2.8 makes many of the game's cosmetics more accessible, fully removing shipments and hero challenge card systems from the game and instead putting their rewards in the marketplace. The update automatically converts player credits into in-game resources and turns hero catalysts and fragment extractors into permanent 1.5 multipliers. on earn fragments and XP. Additionally, players who earn at least one trophy before April 1st will receive Iron Man's veritable threat response battlesuit as a thank you gift. It's War Machine. It's literally War Machine. That said,
it kind of makes me sad.
Kind of makes me sad too. I don't have a lot of time to plat that game.
Oh,
Should I go out there?
I don't think I can plat that game.
You think I should though? Like rush it before September?
Let's see. Well, I'll look up the trophy list, see if it's doable or not.
Fair enough. Hey, Kyle, it's time for a little segment we like to call Quick Play. Of course, here's how it works. We each have 1 minute to talk about the games we've been playing. And this week, Kyle, it's very simple. I have beaten Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Sweet.
I'm not going to tread on water that I already have, right? About how it's changed, this, that, and the other thing. All I'm going to say is this. Resident Evil 4 did the impossible task. You know how, Kyle, I was the most excited for Dead Space Remake this year? And how it lived up to every one of my expectations?
Yeah.
And I love it so dearly. So when I say this, it's no disrespect to the team or that game itself because it's immaculate. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the pinnacle of a remake. It has taken... It's done such a crazy thing. For me, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm excited, I'll play it. But I wasn't over the moon. Like, I was excited for people that were excited more than me. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the best remake I've ever played. It is the definitive version of how to play Resident Evil 4. It is the best in the franchise. It is right now, as it stands, my favorite survival horror game ever. And as I finish it with a letter grade of B, B's get degrees. It is possibly one of my favorite. Oh no, it is. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The game's incredible. Game's incredible. It does such a good job of like moments of like I feel like I'm a wrecking ball and I'm just unleashing havoc to then putting me in scenarios where I feel like it's a cat and mouse and I'm the little mouse and I'm trying to run, but my little feetsies only get me so far.
I saw a really cool TikTok.
Yeah.
About I forgot where it is. It's that big room, right, where in the old game Ashley gets taken and you have to save her, and then it just swarms and swarms and swarms of guys.
Yeah,
you know what room I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
But before that, I think there's a guy with like a little lever that kind of locks you in. I saw a TikTok of some guy, and they kept it in the game, or maybe it was purposeful. You can throw a grenade on that ledge and stop him from ever doing the lever.
Yes.
And bypassing that whole thing.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Dude, it does such a great job of like, there are sequences that are too cheesy for me, at least when I was playing the original back in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Of like, again, I won't say them because I deem them spoilery, but the moments where the game truly jumps the shark, those segments are out. You know, I actually really love the relationship between Ashley and Leon. In fact, Leon, I'm like, Leon, you're so oh, sorry. You're so cool. I didn't believe that. What came out after was even worse. He's so gosh dang cool. Like I love him. He's awesome. So like, there's so much it did right with its dialogue, fixing up some of the story beats, and just literally taking out elements from the game where it's just like, we don't need this, and just making it still feel like it has its soul. It's incredible. And I got a question for you, Kyle. Okay. Jedi Survivor is getting amazing previews.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, this is the same game that you love. In 2019, it's here, and it's even better systems. Yeah, you could customize his beard. I will never do that. But like, there's 7 worlds to explore. That's all great and grand. But I also got Horizon coming on the 19th.
Yep.
So my question for you, sir.
Oh boy.
Is I got a week or 2 to kill. Do I go for the platinum? Do you think I have it in me? Because you have to beat the game in hardcore. I don't know what hardcore is. Maybe you die, you got to restart. And I got to beat the game in under 8 hours. Do you think I have what it takes to platinum Resident Evil 4? Or should I go and plat Horizon Forbidden West before the DLC? Think about it.
Ooh. I'm sorry, because I was looking up exactly what hardcore was.
Yeah, hardcore parkour.
Plat Forbidden West before Burning Shores, or
Plat
try to
Resident
plat
Evil.
RE4.
Yeah, I really love this game. I know.
I would say Forbidden West.
I'm thinking Forbidden West too. I want to maybe get, the hand-eye coordination back, the muscle memory back from it. Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken,
Tell me about it.
I think hardcore takes out the typewriters.
Oh, okay. So you just gotta start and go.
Maybe, or you can only use it a certain amount of times.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair. I think.
Fair enough.
Let me hold on.
Well, here's the thing, Kyle. I want to know what you've been playing. Don't worry, but I'll research this another time, Kyle. I want to know what you've been playing.
I mean, it's been MLB The Show. Like I said earlier, 72 hours or something like that.
Jeez
it is.
Louise.
I mean, we'll get into it on Road to Greatness, which I know we owe you soon.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe next week we'll deep dive into
Absolutely.
it. Also, I'm thinking it's time that the community votes on a game we play. Maybe for next month or two.
Okay.
We'll get back to you with choices. Maybe next week we'll come up with choices for y'all to vote on. I am in awe at Sony San Diego Studios. This year. It is incredible. Every mode is great. I want to highlight the Negro League storyline mode. Holy crap. It is the best thing that they've ever added to MLB The Show. I hope we get more, not only in just these important players in baseball history that are forgotten, but like in future years, go into like the contributions from players from Cuba or Puerto Rico or Japan, and let us play and learn about these players. So what this mode is, Joe, is the oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? The head of the Negro League Baseball Museum is talking to you about each player, and each player has like a very cartoony animated effect happening while you're learning about them, and then you go and play those moments.
That's awesome.
And play of like strike out two batters, whatever, and it's like my favorite one so far has been Satchel Paige, who's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Very easily could have been the first one to break the color barrier before Jackie. Pitched well into his 60s, but no one knows when he was born, so who knows how old he was.
Oh, dude, that guy's awesome already.
He could have been like 69 when he pitched his last game. Who knows?
I like that. Hey, Satchel, when were you born? None of your goddamn business.
Exactly. But there was a whole thing where it wasn't like fastball, curveball, whatever. He had names for all his different pitches. Like his fastball was called the B-ball because when he throws it, it will be where it be. Like that's where it's gonna go.
That's awesome.
Just some really cool things like this. And my favorite one of his is he was talking about a story where Satchel was so confident in his skills, and they were playing against an all-white team, and one of the opponents came on the steps of their dugout and said something that I am not comfortable in saying at all.
Fair enough.
And
it's like, hey, I hope you guys do real lousy out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Remember, the Titans hasn't come out yet, so I'm going to be real ignorant about things.
And Satchel turns to his teammates, and he goes, "All right, everyone come on in." Brings them in and tells them to kneel on the infield. So no one is playing defense. And then he strikes out the side. And you play that moment.
What a fucking G.
I loved it so much. It was such a cool thing. And sure, did it have every single batter swing at every pitch? Maybe. It doesn't matter. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. It's all set to like really awesome like hip hop tracks when you're playing the game. Every player gets their own like diamond level card that you can use then in Diamond Dynasty.
That's awesome.
The artwork is beautiful. It is shout out San Diego studio. I love that you included this. I can't wait to one day maybe go to Kansas City, Missouri, to actually go visit this museum, because I learned of some players that I'd never even heard before, and they sound amazing. So like I absolutely loved it. This game is unreal. I can't wait to put in another 300 hours by June.
By next goddamn week, it seems. All right, Kyle.
It's awesome.
That is all fine and dandy. I also just want to mention for the Resident Evil 4 stuff, I should have put it on this week's notes, but please be nice to the voice actors that voice these games.
I saw something happen, but I don't know what the...
Some folks don't like the voice actress that played Ada this time around. They switched the voice actors around. And she's actually Ada in one of the movies. So it's like, that makes sense. Because apparently, like, what Capcom did as well, just to go back to this, is like they took, like, everybody's critique is like, oh, this is some Spanish-speaking country somehow in Eastern Europe. They took, like, some small things about, like, just Spanish culture and infused it in here. Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, one person pointed this out. Every Spanish person in that game has two last names, because that's how it is in Spain and just Europe at large,
I love
right?
that. Little small detail that makes sense.
Little small details. And what they wanted to do was, they're like, hey, Ada's last voice actor was white. Ada's an Asian character. Let's infuse who we are into this game a bit too. Yeah. And so they went and did the thing, right? I think she did a fine job. I think she's a great Ada, and I honestly couldn't really tell the difference of like which actor was which. Like, to me, it was like, okay, that's Ada. Like, that's fine. And of course I'm in love with her, so it's fine. It's Ada. I mean, come on. So it seems like some people didn't like her performance and blame solely her, and so much so that she had to close her social media accounts. Oh. Stop doing that. Please stop. If you don't like a thing, you don't have to make it your personality trait not to like a thing, or to say something when you don't actually have to. Like, every time I see something about Marvel and people are like, the thing should have ended with Thanos, it's like, okay, I get it. You're very unoriginal, right? Like, when I see a new Star Wars thing, they're like, oh, another one. It's like, okay, I get it. Enough. I'm really sick of the fandoms having to have something to say, and it's never kind. Mm-hmm. I think about Star Wars. I think about the actor behind Jar Jar Binks, and Jar Jar Binks is a meme, but I'm always kind of apprehensive to share out Jar Jar memes because of the toxicity around the character. He was bullied so much.
Rose, right?
Yeah.
Rose from the new trilogy.
But he was bullied so much he almost killed himself.
I know. Ahmad Best, right?
Yes, Ahmad Best. Thank you. And it's only until that actor opened up where everybody's like, okay, enough with the Jar Jar shit. We're sorry, you know? Yeah. And he's been embraced by the community and has had amazing opportunities. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
He hosted that game show, right?
Oh, and he's
in the thing. I know.
Who knows? Thing, yeah, and does some cool stuff. So it's like, we got to be nicer to folks, man. I get it. Something may be important to you, but if you don't like it, you don't have to make it your personality, please.
Absolutely.
So the voice actor of Ada, I think Lily Gao is her name, coming from memory. So I'm sorry if I mistake anything. You're incredible. Don't let the haters get to you. Please, for the love of God.
Yep.
That said, it's time. Are you holding on to something, Kyle?
My comically large size of water.
I'm holding on to the Apple Pencil that I can't use anymore because Apple. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. April 3rd, Match Adventures 2 on PS5. April 4th, Atari Mania. Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition on PSVR2. Grim Guar Once More. Meet Your Maker. Road 96 Mile Zero. And I'm not saying PS5, PS4 because it's there. You know
also,
what I mean?
Meet Your Maker PS Plus for April.
Yes, go play that. I'm hearing great things about it. Surprise to no one. April 5th, Lost Artifacts Mysterious Book on PS4, Brightstone Mysteries, The Others on PS5, United Assault Battle of the Bulge on PS5. On April 6th, Across Valley on PSVR2, Curse of the Sea Rats on PS5, PS4.
Really quickly, Curse of the Sea Rats. If you love the art style of The Great Mouse Detective, the old Disney movie, the underrated one.
Ooh-wee.
This is a Metroidvania where you play as rodents and stuff. It's awesome.
And it's okay.
It's pretty, and it looks beautiful. It's hard, but it's cool.
Okay, I'll dig it.
Played at PAX last year.
Marfusha on PS5, PS4. Melon Journey, Bittersweet Memories on PS5, PS4. Pretty Girls Tile Match on PS5,
Excuse
PS4.
me, let me look up the trophy list.
No, God. All right. April 7th, EA Sports PGA Tour on PS5, and The Library of Babel on PS5, PS4. Those are all the games coming this week. And again, wait on that Jedi Survivor, because I cannot wait.
Seems like a pretty easy plat for that tile match, so.
Kyle. No.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't do it.
Oh, I'm are we live?
Yeah. Oh, geez, so let me clear this browser history. Kyle, it is time.
I Randy Pitchford it.
It is time for our favorite segment and the last segment of the night. It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw!
Matthew Kennedy writes in, "Hey guys, question for the Sony Pony Express while you're here and you're first. Do you remember the patent Sony released a few years ago about the little buddy robot that was supposed to react with emotions to your PlayStation 5 gameplay?"
I don't actually.
I do. I remember. Now I see they're looking into a patent with temperature controls that will change the temperature of your DualSense depending on what you're reacting with in a game. Ooh, that sounds actually pretty dope. Some of this stuff is wild, but also potentially exciting. What sort of stuff would you like to see Sony experiment with and actually bring gamers to enhance their experience with the PlayStation 5? Or are you in the camp where as these ideas are just a bit over the top? Stoked to hear your thoughts. I got one right now.
Go for it.
You talk about them. First off, I think most of these are wacky and crazy and they don't come to be. But temperature controlling controller, I'm all about. Listen.
Same.
I got sweaty palms.
Oh, okay? You're going for like actual realistic
functionality. I got sweaty hands. I'm a sweaty man. Okay? I don't like to admit it, but I am what I am. I would like a controller that I could put the AC on it. You know what I mean? Because I grip it so hard, that like my hands just get so overheated, and sometimes I just gotta literally wipe the sweat off my hands because I'm gross.
Sure.
So I want a cool controller. I remember they used to have that. It was like the Mad Cats and the literal fans that shoot at your palms.
1,000%. Yeah. Or Power A, I think was another company.
God bless.
I'm also all in for this temperature thing because I instantly thought of like a Ragnarok. Yeah, infuse the axe with ice and the controller gets cold. Or you are in like Muspelheim?
Sure.
Muspelheim?
Yeah.
You're in hell pretty much and it gets hot, it gets warm. Or you're playing a like a old school NBA Jam and you're on fire, right? And it feels a little bit more warm and stuff. Like I'm all into that. Just it's the next step of haptics. I think it's a good idea.
That's Sweat City population me. I don't like that. Heating up my controller? No way. Yeah, but you know
Not
what?
A lot, just a little warmness.
Here's the thing. It's like people are gonna be like, putting up memes of like, we have DualSense hot at home, and it's just like someone putting on icy hot on a controller. You know,
1,000%.
That's immediately what I thought about. Bertos Maximus writes in, question for the Sony Pony Express. Hey guys, I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima's Director's Cut on PS5. I've been so tempted. That's another. I
had it loaded until RE4 and MLB The Show.
And have opted to experience the game in Japanese with English subtitles. Oh, and the hardest difficulty. So my question is, how did you guys experience it, and what did you think? It's the greatest game ever made. The game is beautiful and made better by the Japanese option. Love from your favorite Brit. Stay safe. Ghost of Tsushima is legitimately like my favorite game of all time. Like I say it's Bloodborne, I say it's Elden Ring. I think legitimately it's Ghost. I love Ghost so much.
Yeah.
Also it
I
changes every day, but you know.
I did good old American version, English voice and English subtitles. I've yet to go back and play the Iki Island DLC.
Oh, you're missing out.
Which is why I had it loaded and ready to go. But then I got sick.
I got
Hey,
the wallpaper right
that's
here.
a dope wallpaper.
You know?
Ghost of Tsushima was one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah. I want to do the Japanese voice acting. I want to do the black and white mode. Yeah, I think I talked about it last week. I have no idea. I've just been talking about John Wick constantly. But like walking out of that film, I'm like, this is gonna be the greatest video game adaptation ever made.
Ghost sequel PlayStation Showcase?
Oh, I'll flip.
It's been three years. I mean, they did the expansion.
I could see a
like,
PC port by Nixus.
Fair.
The
Fair.
game's done extremely well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if they do Ghost of Tsushima in theaters, like theatrical, all that jazz.
Yep.
With Chad, and I forgot his last name, but the director of John Wick, it's gonna be phenomenal. And if he wanted to put like Japanese like voiced and acted characters in there, yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah.
I think there's never been a better time to do that. Is now.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Yep.
If not, hire the gosh dang same actor that played Jin. Jin is Jin.
Yes, please.
Please. All right, that said, Una writes in, and Kyle, I need a cough. Could you take this one for me?
Absolutely. Hey there, guys. Hope you guys are both doing well. Welcome to April, where the school semester is in its final boss phase. The Hunter's Dream Team for Great True Trophy Challenge goes to battle for trophy difference. I'm sorry, Yuna. And the yang to my yin might finally happen. This past Monday, I have finally finished Olympia Soiree Badger, 140 plus hours,
Ooh-wee.
and have now moved on to Pia Fiore, Faded Memories, which is basically Mafia plus Otome. These Otome games might lead me have an intervention with you guys in here. As for my question this week, what is a setting in a game you discovered that not necessarily ruined the game for you, but wish you have discovered it earlier? While finishing Olympia Soiree, I discovered a setting that I wished I discovered earlier, but overall do not ruin the experience throughout the game. So I throw the ball to you guys. What settings and games that you wish you discovered a bit earlier in a playthrough? Are we talking settings how we play, or like place settings, like in the world?
It happens to me constantly that I can't think of one, but like for example, RE4, you can have snap to target, so you don't have to lead the target; just snaps onto him. I think that's neat. I learned that midway through, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't need it, so I'm not going to do it. But there is always like options or things that I could have done way sooner that I learned halfway through a game. And I'm always kicking myself that I'm like, why didn't I just try to explore a little bit harder? Why didn't I explore a little bit better? For example, RE4, the shooting galleries, you get little pachinko machines that you're able to gamble in with, right? And what happens is the better your score is in one of these, these shooting galleries that you have, you get golden like tokens. And I was just like, oh, let me just use 2 silver and 3 gold. No, never do that. Just use all gold, because it guarantees that you get something really good out of it, because it's all based off of luck. So it's little things like that. I always go, oh wow, I could have done it way easier if I just thought about it differently.
I somewhere on that train of thought, one of my favorite RPGs of all time, spoke about it many times, Star Ocean 2 Second Story. There's a moment very early in the game where a tsunami takes out a town and you can never go back. And I learned after reading the guide that you can, if you grind enough and get the skill to pickpocket early enough, there are some very key items in that town that will help you out a whole lot. So once I learned that, every single playthrough, that is what I do. Same thing, Final Fantasy VIII. I grind like crazy before I even fight Ifrit at the very beginning, get all the magic I can. So my HP is bonkers high because of the junction system. And I like doing those little things that make my game play easier the earlier I get. And I generally enjoy that. So that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Green Gorilla Gamer writes, "Sup, boys? I'm very excited to hear from you both about Star Wars and all the PlayStation news. But this week, I have a bit of a twist. Ooh, okay. I'm attending my city's Comic Expo at the end of the month, and on top of the booths and people I get to meet, including some fellow cosplayers, there's also some celebrities and voice actors I'm meeting. One of those voice actors is none other than Najit Jeter, the voice of Henry from The Last of Us. Sam from The Last of Us, and of course Miles Morales. And since we are still waiting on a PlayStation showcase, are there any questions either of you would like me to ask him? I know a twist. Yeah, ask Najee, hey, would you like to come on the trophy room?
Yeah, show him this clip. Say, hi Najee. My name's Kyle. This is Joe. Yeah. We absolutely adore you as Miles. We adore you as Sam. If you ever want to come and chat with us here at the trophy room, we would love to have you and just celebrate you and your work, because you're incredible.
I echo this, man. And I also have so many Miles Morales questions because he's my favorite Spider-Man, and you've voice acted him in a plethora of things. So yeah, I got questions for you, my man. Come on by. It's gonna be nice.
Ask him how he liked the portrayal in the HBO show.
Yes,
because that I haven't heard his take on how they handled the Henry and Sam stuff. So that'd be cool.
Bam. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Also, he's gonna be meeting Stephen Amell, David Ramsey, Charlie Cox, oh my goodness, Vincent D'Onofrio, oh my goodness, Hayden Christensen, my man, Zachary Levy, Emily Swallow, who is the armorer in The Mandalorian.
Oh, that's cool. Hold on. This next one, though, Joe. This next one, though.
And Shamik Moore. Sheesh.
Do you not know who Shamik Moore is?
What?
That's Miles from Spider-Verse. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so we gotta get both Miles on this show. I gotta tell them how both of them have made me cry. This is it. This is what we gotta do.
Awesome.
This is the way.
Green Gorilla, I hope you have an amazing time.
Yeah, it seems like it,
people.
Dude. Yeah, oh my God! Yeah. Ask him how he feels about all the reactions to everybody flipping out over the trailers, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! The Puerto Rican flag when they snap.
Ooh, oh my God! The details. I'm a sucker for details.
Just the little things. Great. Love to see it. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your weeks. I finished Limbo last night on Twitch. What the fuck?
Oh, I still have to do that myself.
Still don't know the ending.
Yep.
I'm bad at platformers. But we do also need to have more community nights, so maybe we talk about that on Friday.
Sure.
When we do the after show. Who knows? Last but not least, the last question of the show comes from Brendan English. They emailed us, old-fashioned like,
ooh.
How's it going, guys? My original DualSense controller recently started rubber banding to the left and sort of like a stick drift, but super annoying. Either way. So I'm thinking about buying a new controller, which had me wondering, do I get the new DualSense Edge, or should I get a new DualSense with a longer battery life? I might just go with the Edge. But this led me to the question, what if Sony came out with a controller that was just like the regular DualSense, but twice the battery life? What would you pay for that? Nothing, because it should be in the gosh dang controller already. The fact
for the price that we're paying for a DualSense? Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. It should be no less than like 10, 12-hour battery life on that thing.
Absolutely.
The fact that it's not, like, the fact that, like, you're lucky you get 6 it's ridiculous. And, like, the DualSense Edge, as much as I love that controller, the battery life it's not good. It's lasting 5 hours. So, like, I love the DualSense Edge, but you also need a main controller as well. And unfortunately, again, I got like 5 of these gosh dang things. There's 6 probably, right? I got the red one, black one.
I got 6.
Blue one, red
Pink,
one.
Pink, red, blue, black, God of War, White.
DualSense. Yeah. 6. We have a problem, and we're not. we're not proving a point by maybe voting with our wallets here, but nonetheless, yeah, it should just be free. But I would say get a regular DualSense unless you are an avid, person on multiplayer.
If those back paddles things intrigue you, maybe that might sway you if you feel like that would give you an advantage in your gaming. But I personally never have any sort of need for that stuff.
Yeah.
At least I don't see it yet. Maybe if I have it in my hands and mess around with it, that might change. But go with a regular DualSense right now for the price. Yeah.
I would say though, if you are like a multiplayer centric gamer, the Edge is a no brainer because it is legit. Like it is my favorite controller. It's just the goddamn battery life is not good. So, well, Kyle, that's it. That's all we got for this week's trophy room, man.
That's it.
I had fun. I think you know what. Listen, we recorded midday and it felt great.
Felt weird.
It felt weird, but I think we were both on it today. Like we were. I don't know. Y'all let us know. I think we killed it. I think we crushed it this week.
Maybe we'll find out.
We'll find out. Someone's gonna yell at me in the
of course
comments.
we did. Of course we did.
With all the crazy, wacky stuff I said this week, I'm gonna get a lot of yelling at.
Yeah, I hope everyone doesn't yell at me about the Barbie Hunter thing.
I hope my best friend doesn't listen to this podcast and yell at me something fierce. That's all I'm hoping for. She's downstairs. She can hear everything I'm saying.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. All right, Kyle. Listen, with all that said, with all that out of the way, that's been the trophy room this week. Is there anything you'd like to spotlight for yourself, sir?
Sure. Myself, Mr. K-Step on Twitter, as long as it's still standing and everywhere else. Come hang out here in the Discord. Yep. Link in the description. 61indie.com, SIXONEINDIE. We're going to be back with new IndieCast recordings starting on Monday, so we're back to that grind in case you want to hear about the latest and greatest in all things indies.
I do.
And no post show until Friday.
Yeah.
So
it'll be out this weekend for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love you very much, and thank you for everything.
Thank you for being a friend.
Being a little not existential. You know what I mean?
Everywhere and back again.
Just try to throw more love out there than
you're a friend and a confidant. That's the Golden Girls, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I've never watched the Golden Girls.
Oh, when I was little at my grandparents' house, yeah. But
isn't that funny? I know that intro is so...
It transcends pop culture.
It transcends. And speaking of which, that's my best friend's show. She's like, yeah, she's got a Blanche shirt.
I've heard nothing of amazing things.
Everybody says I would love
WWE superstar, up, down, down, Austin Creed. It's one of his favorite shows of all time. He wears Golden Girls stuff all the time.
That's I should watch it. I should. Maybe after my Ted Lasso kick, but I also want to watch Succession. So there's just a whole lot. I also need to watch Barry season 3. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of
handheld would come in mighty handy.
Oh, by the way, Kyle,
at the same time.
Here's the thing I'd like to spotlight. If you are a PlayStation 5 owner, you have 6 months of Apple TV Plus. Oh. Kyle, look at me. Look at me, Kyle. Come on, you got it. Just for a second.
You keep bringing it up. It's just only going to push me away harder.
I know. Ted Lasso. This week, very powerful. Very powerful.
We'll see.
Such performances, such wow. That said, that's been the trophy room this week. If you want to find me, you can find me over at Mr. Babbitt on Twitter so we can have a fight. Or you can say the memes that I post from time to time. You can yell at me for liking stuff. Who knows? Sky's the limit nowadays. You can find the trophy room at PS Trophy Room. That's where you can get the latest updates on what's happening with the show. Your latest update on news as it breaks in the lands that is PlayStation and in between. And you can find the show over at the Trophy Room, a PlayStation show over on Apple Podcasts, over on Spotify. If you liked us there, make sure you hit us with that 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We crossed over 500 reviews on Spotify. As of saying it right here, right meow, 503 reviews on Spotify.
Woo.
We are less than 70 reviews away from crossing 1,000 reviews worldwide across podcast services worldwide. So it really does help us out. We're going to have some cool giveaways as well. So as long as you're reviewed the show, you're entered to win. As long as you're a Patreon, you're entered to win. All that good stuff. And of course, we don't know what's happening with Twitter, and who knows? It's an enigma. It may never go away. It may go away tomorrow. Who knows? But what we do know is there's a Discord here that you get to join. It's completely free. Come join the amazing community if you want to chat PlayStation with us. Kyle and me are there. Amazing community members like the Green Gorilla Gamer, like Yuna, like Katie are there. And we're all nice. And it's great. It's a fun time. Nakachaka is there. It's great. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bye. Love you.